Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Home Buying 101. I'm Prashant Kalra and I'm the founder of TPB, and we showcase luxury and super luxury homes in Goa and abroad. In today's episode, we're going to talk to you about the different locations in Goa and what they cost in terms of a per square meter land basis. So in short, we're going to talk about land prices in Goa in 2023. Now, we're going to start with South Goa because we're trying to keep this organized. We're going to go south to north. Now, South Goa is one of the more underappreciated parts of Goa. It's beautiful, it's scenic, but it's just not one of those very commercially developed places, and that works very well for a lot of people. So it doesn't have the kind of demand that North Goa has, but in terms of scenic beauty, beach proximity, it's actually a lot better than North Goa in many ways. So land here can be bought for anything between 15 to about 22,000 rupees per square meter. And the parts of South Goa that we recommend would be anything from Utorda beach all the way down to Varca beach. Now we're going to talk to you about land towards the northern parts of Goa, and we're going to start with an area called Pilerne. Now Pilerne is also very popular because it's close to Camurlim beach. It's also close to Morjim, which is a pretty major city in North Goa. And land here can cost you anything between 30 to 35,000 rupees a square meter. Pilerne is also very popular because it tends to be very green, very scenic, and quite spacious. If you're lucky, you can even get some nice plots with a field view. Now we're going to move a little bit further north into a district called Parra. Now Parra, as many of you know, is that famous coconut road where tourists keep trying to take pictures and locals keep trying to sort of scare them out of it. I'm using a very diplomatic phrase of word, but you know what I mean. So if you ever seen people trying to take pictures on this tree with palm trees on either side, that location is Parra, and it tends to be very popular with tourists and holiday home buyers alike. Land here can cost anything from about 40,000 rupees up to about 60,000 rupees a square meter. It's also very popular because you've got Assagao, Anjuna, everything is close by. Now that brings us to the next district, which is Verla Canca. Now, Verla Canca is just a little bit further north of Parra and a little bit south of Assagao. So, in short, it's right between Parra and Assagao. Now, land here can cost anything from 35,000 up to about 60,000 rupees a square meter because it's one of those areas which is coming up quite a bit because it's very close to Assagao, which is much more expensive. But it is also extremely quiet and underdeveloped compared to the other parts of North Goa. So it's one of those places which is great for someone who wants a little bit of peace and quiet, but you still want to be 5 minutes away from the action. So when you move north from Verla Canca, for about 5 minutes, you hit your famous gunpowder, and that's basically like the biggest landmark of Assagao. Of course, that's also one of the reasons why Assagao became so popular, is because it's got this amazing F&B, nightlife, forest, rural, agrarian vibe. So it's one of those parts where people can step out of their homes, go have a great meal, come back within a short distance. Ironically, there are no beaches nearby. It doesn't give you a sea view. There's no river view, water view, or anything of the sort. The best you can hope for is a field view. But it still has the most expensive land rates in North Goa today, where land here can cost you anything from 80,000 rupees to 1 lakh plus. Now, whether it's worth it or not, that's entirely up to you. If for some reason you really want to own a house in Assagao, keep in mind you're going to be paying super premium rates today because there isn't that much land left. And what is available is very expensive. So if a developer buys land at a premium rate, he's going to build a villa and sell it to you also at a premium rate. So just letting you know that there are options out there, but if you're hell-bent on Assagao, that's your choice. Now, when we move a little bit further north of Assagao, we hit another very popular district, which is Anjuna. Now, Anjuna, as you know, is the old F&B capital of Goa. Some of the most iconic restaurants in Goa happen to be in Anjuna. It also has a beach and a great coastline, and that gives rise to a lot of seaside dining options as well. So if you're someone who wants to catch the sunset, have a drink, have a nice bite, hit a few different pubs and bars, Anjuna is fantastic. In Anjuna, if you're looking for land, it can cost you anything from about 60,000 rupees going up to 85,000 rupees as well. Because again, there's very little land left and what is available is going at a premium rate. And when you move just a little bit further north from Anjuna, the next district you're going to hit is Vagator. Vagator again is the iconic party capital of North Goa with Hilltop and all the major events like Rider Mania happening there, all the major music events happening there. Plus, you've got the W, you've got some fantastic bars and restaurants, again, overlooking the sea. So it's one of those places which never really sleeps. There's always some sort of party going on in some different bar or restaurant across the entire stretch of Vagator. When we're talking about land in Vagator, the rates start at about 75,000 rupees a square meter. And again, there's no limit. If you get something in Vagator with a sea view, I mean, you can take a wild guess as to what it would cost. But I would say 75 to 80,000 is a good starting point for Vagator in today's market. Just north of Vagator is a beautiful district called Siolim, which has a fantastic, massive paddy field running right through the middle. And if you're lucky enough to get land on either side of that paddy field, that view is going to stay with you for life. Most of that land is now gone, so people are buying land in other pockets of Siolim, and that has driven land prices in Siolim quite high. Land in Siolim today starts at about 50,000 rupees a square meter, and it can go as high as 65, 70,000 rupees a square meter. Siolim doesn't have a coastline, it doesn't give you a sea view, but it's very close to Vagator, it's very close to Assagao, and it's also very close to Morjim. So that's one of the reasons why people really like Siolim, is because it's a 5 to 7 minute drive from pretty much everything. So it's centrally located, and it's still one of the lesser developed parts of Goa, although that is changing fairly quickly. Now, when we move further north, we're going to hit a bridge, which is called the Chapora Bridge. And once you cross that, you enter the extreme northern part of Goa, which leads you to beaches like Morjim, Ashwem, Mandrem, and Arambol. Now, we're not going to talk about all of these separately, but I'm going to give you a broad guideline as to what things cost here. If you're looking for land in Morjim, it's one of the more expensive pockets of the extreme north. Land here can cost anything from 25,000 going up to 50,000 rupees a square meter. It really depends on what the location is, what the view is, if any, and other factors like that. Mandrem, Ashwem, Arambol, they are still relatively cheap. You can start there at about 22,000 and goes up to about 35,000. But that's the broad benchmark of what land costs over there. So I've tried to give you a full explanation of every single major location in Goa and what land costs there. I realize I may not have covered everything. For example, I have not covered anything east of the highway, including Moira, Aldona, Salvador de Mun, and these are all very viable districts for someone who wants peace and quiet. But the bulk of the holiday home buyers still want to buy land closer to a beach, and that's why I've given you the prices on the beach side of Goa. But if you want me to do a separate segment where I explain land prices in the more economical parts of Goa, please let me know in the comments and I'll make a video just for you. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please click like and subscribe, because that gives us a lot of support to keep making more content for you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.